do the same thing that we did here. So we want to create the user story, okay? And similar to here, we are just awaiting doing this. And then after that, we are going to return await this dot project surface dot get project by ID and then project ID. Okay, so let's give this a try. And let's go ahead and we want to console log project. And then we're going to console log response.data. All right, so we are adding, and we are going to say user story 1 on feature D on project A. This is the description of user story 1 on feature D on project A. Create. And user story dot map is not a function. All right, so let's figure out where that is happening. Okay, so it's happening in feature modal. Okay. All right. So I'm going to refresh the page. And it's doing that. All right, let's look at feature D. All right, so the user story did get added. Okay. So I'm curious as to what the issue was. So let's look for user story.map, because that's the part that's confusing me, is user story.map. Does not exist in our code. All right. Let's try again. So we're going to say user story 2, feature D, project A, description. Okay, so the project came back. We have 5 features, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That makes sense. Okay. So we wanted to do feature D, user stories, and it looks like we have the 2 user stories here, but the issue is that it didn't update my modal. What if I close the modal and I reopen it? If I close the modal and I reopen it, it's there. Very interesting. Okay. So I'm going to console log stories here because I want to see where it's happening in the list. Okay. So we're going to say user story 1 D A, and this is going to be user story 3 description. So I add it. Okay, my stories are just the 2, user story 1 and user story 2. But if I look at D, I have all of my user stories. I think it has to do with this way that I am doing my selected feature. Which is not Great. All right, I'm gonna do some playing around now, I think, with the selected feature portion of things. Okay. I'm gonna put this back to just on open. And then I'm going to make a separate component. I am going to make a component and I'm going to call this feature box.tsx const feature box. And then I'm going to go to the project and I'm going to cut and paste. And I'm going to import from shop.ui. And I'm going to just put in feature, which is going to be of type props. And then type props is going to be feature, which is going to be of type feature. And I'm going to do export default feature box. All right, it looks like we also need to pass in on open. No, it looks like now we just need to do all of our disclosure and stuff. So we're gonna say feature box. And we're going to pass in feature. Perfect. All right, so then we are going to take our feature modal and we are going to import it, and then I'm going to go and get feature dot name, and then for now I'm just going to put the project ID as 3. Let's do, all right, then we want to pass in project ID and then set project. The number and set project. All right. Feature box, then we need to pass in project ID is going to be equal to project dot ID, and then set project is going to be set project. Okay, so that works. All right, that looks good. All right, so what we did is we had to export the component feature box in order to pass in the feature, and then we used the modal within there instead. So that way we didn't have to pass a specific feature to the modal. Okay. So that is helping us now. We don't have to use the what feature are we doing. This makes a lot more sense. Okay, yes. All right, so the next thing that we are going to do is we are going to check on our user story accordion, and we're going to see if that fix helped things work any better, and go from there. All right, so let's go back to feature D. And I'm a little bit worried. Let's go to feature D. Okay, there we go. All right, so we have our 1, 2, 3 user story. So let's do user story 4 D A description. All right, let's create, and it added. Whoop, whoop, whoop. All right, so I think we have our data situation fixed. Very sorry that it took me this long to do it, but we do have it fixed, okay? That looks good, and then we're getting our project set back there. All right, so we don't have to console log that, and where else are we console logging? Not there. Are we console logging here? Yep, our stories. All right, and let's go look for some more console logs before we move on to fixing the next one. All right. Okay, so we should just need to fix tasks now, okay? So let's add a feature, make sure everything is working. Okay, so feature E, description, create feature, feature E. We open feature E, there's no user stories. Let's add a user story. So user story 1 for feature E, and this is its description. Oh no! All right, we thought we were working, but we're not. All right. So we switched to feature B. And I think it's because the order of our projects is now flipping. Because if we go for feature E, we still have the same thing, but now it's flipping in terms of that. So I am considering if we need to add a created at column within our tables, so that way we can make sure that we're not changing the order of things. So let's look up type ORM sort by Oh, well, we already have our ID, which should be in order, right? So maybe we don't need to add a thing. So I'm gonna look for ascending. All right, find. So order, okay. So let's go back to our project service. We want to get project by ID. All right, let's do order. I don't know if this will work, but we will give it a try. ID. All right, let's see. All right, let's add this as well to okay, so order. Looks like we can do features. And then we want to do features. Okay. Let's see. Ooh, did that do it? All right, let's take a look. Let's go to our features. View all rows. Okay, so K, A, B, C, D, E, score, okay? So then now we want to do that here too. So order, features, ID, okay? All right, so then can we do an order within there? Okay, so then how do we do features? Trying to now see if I can do the features in order again. So let me, right, so we want to do feature F, description. Okay, so let's add user story 1 for F, description. Okay, user story 2 F, description. Okay, see how those aren't sorting in order though? We want those to sort in order too. So now I'm wondering if we want to just get, how do I do it nested? All right, so we will keep looking. We will eventually get it. All right, I'm gonna delete this. I feel like, did we just figure it out? All right, let's try that now. All right, so I'm gonna refresh my page. Go click on F. All right, that's in the right order. So now let's go through user story 3, F. Whoop, 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 whoop. User story 4, F. Right, let me add one here. User story 2, E. Nice. All right, let me refresh the page. Make sure those come up right. Make sure that comes up right. All right. These are all in order, which is nice. All right, perfect. Okay, this feels really good so far. I am going to actually go and delete some of my data now. All right, because I want to be able to, all right, so let's start with tasks. All right, then we gotta go to user stories. The reason why I have to delete these in order like this is because I need to be able to so I'm just gonna delete all of these because they're all connected by foreign key. So if I have too many, okay, and then let's go to project. And let's just delete all my projects. All right, so now I'm gonna go to projects. All right, and let's do some testing of this. All right, so add a project. So we'll call this project A. Description. Create project. All right, I'm gonna go into project A. I'm gonna add a feature. I'm gonna say feature 1 in project A and description. All right, let's do 2 features for this one. Feature 2 in project A, description. All right, let's go into feature 1 and add a user story. So we're gonna say user story A in feature 1 in project A. Description. All right, let's add another one. User story B in feature 1 in project A. Description. Oops, but those got changed. And now we are in, what were we in feature A? Feature 1? None. All right, but these two are flipped, so we need to look into that. Let's add another one and see what happens. Okay. Okay, so user story. Let's go to the feature modal. Create user story accordion. We're setting project equal to the response data. So let's go and console.log project and look at response.data. All right, let's add user story D. Create story. Nope. All right, so we get our project back and as 2 features, which are ordered by ID 8 and 9. Okay, we are working on feature 1. Okay, and then it has 4 user stories, but it is not ordered by ID here. Oh, because we didn't continue this. Duh. All right, order. Perfect. So user story E, feature 1, A, description. Beautiful. All right. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and I feel like we have kind of got it. We still need to do task, but this has been a very long video, so I'm going to end it here and then keep on keeping on with task.